All right. Alrighty, folks. This is Microwave 1 of the S.E.E. paper. We're here with our S.E.E. broadcasting service. This is a interview with Mr. Soloduck of Ironwood. He is currently one of the two prime leaders of the Ironwood Federation. We're going to be getting into some of his thoughts now on the current situation in North America, and obviously about that fort in Quintessence. So, Soloduck,
Yes.
welcome to the show.
Hi. Big fan. I've been listening for some length of time now.
hmm Now, I don't want to dwell. I don't want to dwell too closely on how you got into the game, but can you give us just a brief summary? I know Ironwood has been a group
Oh,
outside of CCNet for a while. Just
sure.
give me a brief
Well,
summary about how you
basically,
joined.
okay. About 4 years ago, I was the leader of a nation. I was one of the leaders of a nation called the Arkan Empire, in which Ironwood was a member, and I defended Ironwood against several attacks at the time. Anyway, 4 years later, during this summer, I just randomly decided to join CCNet, and by pure coincidence, it was around when Ironwood was joining CCNet, so I joined them. The only
Intriguing.
person from Ironwood who still remembered me was Team Tokes, but we caught up. But we had a good reunion, and we decided to make the nation together. So yeah, that's how I joined
Wow.
Ironwood.
Well, with that brief summary over, obviously you rose the ranks. You're now one of the top leaders of the Ironwood Federation with Cape One. Currently,
Yes.
in the South American plain, things have been shaking up. The nation known as the
Oh yeah.
Quintessence Syndicate, I've had a lot of trouble pronouncing that, so I'm very proud of myself,
Quintessence
has
Syndicate.
yeah, has spurred a small fort south of what is now the Imperio Lusitano, is
Yes.
Viracocha, obviously, spur back to ETM days. What is the
You know
situation?
what I learned? Well, by fun fact, Viracocha is the name of an Inca creation deity, which I learned recently, and I thought that's very interesting.
That's very
Um, yeah. So yeah. Yeah. No. It's an interesting situation, is what I'll say. Because here's the thing, is that for the last couple months, South America, not I don't know, a couple months, but for some length of time, over a month at least, South America has basically just been two nations, right?
Mhm.
Two nations, CE and Ironwood. Of course, there was the Brazil situation that didn't last very long, but basically, it's been the two nations, and we kind of settled into the status quo, if you will, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it's created it's a considerable shakeup to the status quo. It's a good hit of adrenaline. I'll say that it keeps life interesting.
I think a lot of people are kind of comparing this to when Ironwood joined, because very similar to the status quo now, there used to be the status quo of just
I I
cultists
don't I
on
wouldn't say
Garuma.
that's the oh I wouldn't I wouldn't actually say that's the same thing because see because this is a pre-established group of players that has been in South America before that
Mhm.
people know about. I don't. I understand the parallel of what you're saying, but I have to disagree with that. This is not the same as when Ironwood came to South America.
Are you
Also,
saying
because
it's?
our intentions were unknown, we were unknown. It's not the same.
Do you believe that the intentions of Quintessence Syndicate are known?
Yeah, they've made it relatively clear their intention to siege CE, or at least act with hostility towards CE, has been made pretty clear by everything. Um,
hmm
Such as, for example, the mayor of the fort, Machinitis, is a prolific camper of the Caribbean Empire, as you know.
That's very true.
Furthermore, in general, it's a lot of people that have been enemies with CE for a significant length of time. I mean, you've got Hertzell,
hmm
Machinitis, as mentioned earlier, Vectra is, I believe, one of them. Not to mention, like, Bunlick and Torta, former members of CE.
I see.
I think they were. Yeah,
They were, yeah.
their their intentions against CE are pretty obvious. They're not really trying to hide it. It's not really a secret.
hmm Do you believe that? Now, first, obviously they plan to siege CE. Timelines haven't really been established, but the rough idea is sometime within the next 2 months there will be a siege. Do you believe that Ironwood A would participate in the siege, and B shows aggression towards Quintessence?
Well, the thing is that Machinitis and I generally tend to get along pretty well. But if they siege CE, yes, Ironwood will absolutely come there to come to defend its ally. We've been loyal. CE has been a loyal ally of Ironwood for a significant length of time, and we completely intend to reciprocate that loyalty.
Do you think Quintessence Syndicate has any warrant, and is there a possibility that they may siege Ironwood?
That's a real possibility. They haven't now to their credit, they haven't done much to they haven't demonstrated any aggression to Ironwood in terms of like general like genuine aggression. Obviously, they've talked. We all talk with people. Things have been said, but no genuine act of aggression has been committed by them. No.
I see. Do you think that Quintessence, now this is kind of a run-of-the-mill question, but obviously Quintessence has tried to distance itself from Coalition as much as possible. Do you think that not by Ironwood being a part of Alliance and not really a direct aggressor to Quintessence, that Quintessence won't see aggression towards them?
It's not so much that they would see aggression from us. It's that if we help CE, then it's very likely that they would see us as an enemy.
I see.
Obviously, now here's like I've for some length of time I've been saying, oh, Quintessence is basically in coalition, and I think, and nowadays I'm actually coming around to the knowledge that no, it's not coalition, but it is it is quite coalition aligned in a couple key ways.
Mhm.
So,
Could you
and again,
explain
this
some
is
of
something
those
I've
key
disagreed
ways?
with. I've had this argument with a lot of people a lot of times, for the record.
Could you give me a rundown of some of the key ways that you think they're coalition aligned?
Well, the coalition aligned in terms of like they're allied to Thracia. I believe they were allied to. I believe they are, or like are close with Floritania. I might have to be corrected on that one because I know there was recent problems I hear. But basically, like because coalition, it's sort of in orbit around Thracia. I would say not in orbit, but basically like that's like the main center of power in coalition. So being allied to Thracia does in my opinion make one coalition alliance, even if you're not in coalition. Now, I'm not saying they're in coalition. I agree with the statement that they're not in coalition, but I think it's fair to say they're coalition aligned. More
I see.
against like they don't like CE and CE's an alliance, you know.
I see. Panning northbound, obviously, when we're talking about alliance nations and coalition conflict, we always come to Floritania versus Canada. Granted, new siege base, coining the classical CE term, Hernan Cortes, this time set up by Floritania, has been built
Yeah, that was
and
funny.
claimed on
I
Coates' border.
appreciate this. I appreciate fake humor. I do appreciate fake humor in terms of using the Hernan Cortez name. I think it was funny to do that.
It is very funny. What is Ironwood's stance on this? Are you guys going to support CE if Floritania does siege? What is
Oh
your
yeah, no.
position?
Here's the thing. If in the event that Cultist Order is sieged, assuming that we don't have another siege, like unless like assuming there isn't another like high priority siege to go to, we would absolutely defend CE there. No question on that one. We fought Flortania indirectly in Brazil, and we fought them at Brigantia. No, we have no beef with them. It's just that we'll defend our allies against Flortania.
Mhm. On the other side of that coin, CE has formed a siege based on the United States. Now, obviously, I know that you're in communication with a lot of members that are in and around the United States. Do you think that you'd aid CE in the siege of Trinity?
You know, that's a tough question. In retro, I think the thing is that if there's another siege to go to, I'll go to another siege because I do like say I am at war with them. They are my enemies, but I don't. But I do like some people in the United States as well as like a lot of like the LSR crowd. I've found them to be chill. Like
Mhm.
if in the event of that siege, I think like if there's no other sieges to go to, and my allies insist I go to the siege, then I will go to the siege. Though I probably won't do much there. Ultimately, just because like chill with them, you know, like those guys personally.
I see. Around that topic, now we're coming to kind of a closing sentence of the interviews here, but around this kind of aura, what is just the general state of Ironwood? I mean, there's been a lot of turmoil as of recent. How is morale? How is the nation? Soloduck?
Well, the state of Ironwood's sorry, yeah, no, my Wi-Fi is great today. Let me just quickly switch connections here. Is this better? Anyway, okay. So the state of Ironwood, I think we're doing all right. We're not as active as we have been before, but we're doing well, I would say. I don't know exactly how to describe it. Obviously, there's been a bit of a some lull in activity because a lot of people are out for the holidays. We are mostly American, and you know how Americans are. We famously enjoy our holidays.
Indeed.
Yeah, no, but no, I would say it's activity's gone down from its peak, but in the event of a mobilization, I fully believe we'd be able to get people on for that.
I see. Now, at this point in the interview, I generally put in my shameless, completely shameless,
No
and
shame.
I may have forgotten the second word in the shameless section.
Plugin.
But yes, my shameless plugin.
Shameless
There we
plugin.
go. Shameless plugin for today is, of course, what some subscribers may have seen, is S.E.E. Rome branch. Now, obviously, yesterday there have been a lot of talks. We've always wanted to open up an Eastern section of the paper, and within the next week, you will be seeing, confirmed, you will be seeing a S.E.E. Rome branch open. We're not sure who's going to run the branch. We're still interviewing, but a office has been offered and a price has been made, and that payment is to come soon. So watch out in the future, people who are in Rome, in Thracia, in Siberium. You're going to be seeing a lot of news from S.E.E. Moving
Interesting.
away. Again, we're coming into probably the final minute of the interview. I'm going to open it up to subscriber questions. I'm also going to open it up to you, Soloduck. Do you have anything you want to plug in? Do you have anything you want to ask me?
Not particularly. I'm more interested to hear questions from the subscribers. I see in the audience there are some people who might want to ask questions. I'd be curious to hear anything.
For the people who are listening right now and aren't quite sure who's in the audience, we have Gerber of Nakusha, we have Soviet of the United States, Revolt, again of the United States, Cape One, Soloduck's co-leader, and DJ's Lab, run-of-the-mill aggressor towards all things in general.
I would call him a run-of-the-mill aggressor to all things in general. There are many things to which he's not aggressive.
So DJ has requested to speak, and DJ, you know I can't do that.
Well, no. Well, DJ is a constituent of my nation. I think he should be. I think I'd love to hear any question he has.
He's pulled it up. He's pulled it back. All right.
Okay. Well,
without any further questions, I will have to close out the interview here.
All right. Oh, nothing about Staff Nation. I was kind of hoping to get my whole spiel on that.
Oh, of course, Staff Nation. Okay, let it loose.
Because the reason I want to talk about it is because, as far as I know, Ironwood is the only nation to technically fight a siege against Staff Nation. I believe.
Really?
Oh, Cape's got his hand up because Cape knows about this.
Yes, we did. Ironwood is the one nation to fight against Staff Nation.
Let's hear it.
I actually can't remember what happened. It was because
I can fully explain. Okay, so basically,
yeah, you got it, Solo.
This is, by the way, in case in case Fake 4 is listening, this is purely as a matter of humor. So basically, at the end of the second siege of Fort Rail, they surrendered the fort, and we put a town holder on it, dissolving the nation Brazil. The problem is the siege was still going on. So now Rail is being sieged by a nation that didn't exist, and it literally broke the server. So Staff basically made it so that Staff Nation was the sieger on Fort Rail, and because we won that means we defeated Staff Nation in a siege technically.
Wow, admirable.
So,
well, with that,
I don't know. I wanted to bring this up for so long on your show. I'm going to be honest. I was looking forward to this.
Very admirable of you, Soloduck. It's quite possibly one of the greatest. I'm crying. I mean, this brings a tear to my eye.
I don't know, it might have been one of the greatest victories in a siege by any nation ever.
If you're listening and you're not if you're not crying right now, then honestly, I don't know what to think. This is beautiful. Well, with that, Soloduck, it's been a great interview. I've loved having you on the show. I'll have you on again sometime in the future. But right now, I gotta go. This has been Microwaved One, your interviewer, your moderator, and your complete host for this evening. This has been S.E.E. Broadcasting Services and our S.E.E. interview. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening.